Welcome back to the Two Mutts podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Marshall. I'm with Trevor Rupper. How's it going?
Oh, boys, it's not going good, as you can see.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Rupper is sideways right now.
Yeah.
Horizontal. Woke up Monday morning and kind of just getting ready to start the day. Bent over to pick up my jeans and wrenched my back. It was a big to-do around the house. The wife was in there picking me up, and the kids were in. The dog's licking my face while I lied pretty much motionless on the floor. So been to the chiropractor a few times and just not getting better. The other day, a guy likes to have his morning routine. That's all been shot. My morning dump is not even where it's at anymore. I had to basically call Cliff's Towing to get me off the pot the other day. So yeah, it hasn't been a fun week for Rupper. Haven't been on the ice. I'm getting ridiculed by the coaching staff, and
Rightfully so.
I'll just leave it at that.
All right. And then the other voice you just heard is Clay Vanderham. Vandy, how's it going?
I am good. Thank you.
You didn't do that. Vandy is dandy. I thought that was going to be your thing.
Oh, yeah, I guess I got to get what do they call it?
A routine or whatever.
Click or something. Vandy is dandy. I am good. Just got off the ice and just finished carving pumpkins. So
Nice.
Getting ready for Halloween.
Nice. All right. Rupper, you want to tease who we have on the podcast this episode?
Yeah, we got Edmonton's own Vernon Fiddler joining us.
The Fiddler, 38.
Yeah, Fids. Well, that'll be a great guest, and I appreciate getting him on. And getting him on was part of getting you guys on. So it's another great get from having you guys join the podcast. But we had some sad news this week, fellas, and I guess there's more sad news today as we record this podcast on Thursday. Travis Roy, a legend in Boston, passed away, and then news of Joey Moss passing away on Monday. Rupper, your thoughts on passing a sad week here for the hockey world?
Yeah, I mean, Joey Moss, if you had to, and I don't want to, rank him on where he is as an Edmontonian, but he's got to be close to number one, right?
Yeah, he's up there.
All time Edmontonian. Who's bigger than him? Honestly.
Yeah, I would say, obviously Wayne's up there, and I don't know, maybe more like Warren Moon for sports wise, but yeah, he's definitely up there. You obviously saw the support, and the support was huge because even a guy like Max Domi, who never played here, but is also, a huge part in the hockey community, and because his dad played, but he put out a tweet also, and it just shows the support and the love that Joey had for this community, and it hit me pretty hard. I spoke to Bob Stauffer shortly after it happened, and Bob told me some good stories and cheered me up, but yeah, just sad for sure.
Yeah, and you know what, and that everybody's gonna grieve different. I mean, there's gonna be fans that grieve their way, and his family that grieves another. I'm a guy, I never had the opportunity to meet him, and I wish I did, because I guess he changed a lot of people's lives. He did a lot for the city, and a lot of causes, and I like the way that people are celebrating his life, right? And that, he had a life that he lived to the fullest, and had a lot of opportunities that a lot of, even myself or you or Clay never had. And you talk about a guy that busted his butt all the time in the locker room, and just everyday life, and that was him. And I love the way that Edmonton's kind of getting behind it and celebrating with all the stories. If you heard the Gregor show, they went extra long, and Struddy was Not enough things said about him, right?
Yeah. Vandy, your thoughts on the sad news this week?
Yeah, awful. I mean, he's a legend, Edmontonian. The work he did with the Eskimos, the Oilers. Um, 2020 can fuck off if you ask me. All
Yeah,
the shit that's happening.
Sure can.
But here's what you do. You whoever's in charge, city council, any of that shit, you name 104th Ave, you name whatever, the community rink, the Commonwealth Community Center, and you don't hold polls, you don't see what Albertans or Edmontonians want, you do it. You name something or a couple things after him, because what he did for not only our city, but for, we talked last podcast with that, with Lolly and Harmon about inclusion and how he brought that inclusion and people with disabilities side, right? It's just what he did for them, for Edmontonians in general. It needs to be recognized in a long-term effect. And I think
I'm
Wayne,
with, yeah,
I think
I'm with
Gretzky
you,
said
buddy.
it.
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's kind of something that we might be talking over each other here just to get some points across. But I'm with you. I want a banner up this year. I want a statue up right
Yep.
next to Wayne's. Let's get it done. There should be exactly what you said. I don't want no polls. I don't want any voting. Get it done. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Go
the
ahead.
Oiler goal song or their win song better damn well be
Yeah.
Rumba.
Yes.
Or
Yeah, from the sounds of it, Bob had Kevin Lowe on Tuesday, or sorry, Monday, and at the end of that interview, Kevin Lowe had talked about that. Bob Nicholson is already kicking and moving tires, and things are in the rolling as we speak on what we're doing. They're talking to all the former captains and I believe Connor McDavid on what they can do and all those ideas that you guys just brought up. And I'm not the biggest Oiler fan, and as people know, I'm a Leaf fan. But if you're from Edmonton and you didn't need to meet Joey Moss to love Joey Moss, and he definitely gave everyone on that organization for the Oilers and the Eskimos huge love whenever something happened. And George Rock touched on that today. Every time George said that there's something happen, a fight or something, Joey's the first person there. And you can talk to all the players that came through. They're talking about everything that Joey would do when they would bring Joey in. He just, everyone loved him. He just would welcome you with open arms. I think Clay's muted, so we'll have to edit that.
No, he isn't.
That's all.
Wrong headphones, muted.
Don't worry, man. Zucks can edit. Jason, Jay-Z can edit. Don't worry. It's all good.
Can you hear us?
I think he could hear us, but he just couldn't hear him. So maybe he was trying to chime in.
Why does he gotta change? Why did you have to change headphones, Clay?
Can you hear us, Clay?
What's he doing?
I don't know. He's not even moving his mouth. Oh no.
What are you doing?
I can't hear you guys.
Oh my God. That was a good little open too we had.
Yeah. We can fix that. Can you fix that?
Jason can just edit it, I believe, but we have to figure. I don't know if we have to. Don't.
Welcome to the Bosco podcast. We have Helen Keller joining us today.
Yeah. I think he's got to take the headphones out so he can hear us. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not even answering our texts.
I think he's trying to figure out what he can do. Oh, now he left the chat. So,
That's probably for the best, Bosco.
oh man,
You should just stop. We got a good bit going up.
yeah.
Okay, I can't go on until I get this fixed. So you guys,
Oh, okay.
I'll work.
Well, throw to the Vernon Fiddler interview now. All right, Rupper. So, what was your thoughts on this case, this situation that happened with the Arizona Coyotes and Mitchell Miller? Where do you stand on this? Obviously, today the news came out that the Coyotes pretty much walked away from him and they rescinded that pick, and he's no longer part of the organization. Where do you stand on this, and what the parts that you've read on it? Where's your big points here on it?
Good for Arizona, right? I mean, we were just talking about, this kind of stuff with Harman and Lally, about, bullying and racism and things like that. And finally, you got an organization that's taken a stand, and I think they did the right thing. And it's about time somebody stood up.
Yeah, no, it's I think there's going to be some looking inside the organization, because from what I've been told, his agent reached out to pretty much all 31 teams, told them about the situation. As more information came out today, that agent didn't give, from the sounds of it, didn't give all the correct information. So the Coyotes did some more digging in the last 2 days, and then this morning they had spoken to Myers Crothers' family about what had happened, and then within an hour to two after that conversation happened, the Coyotes released that statement that they had released today on parting ways with the player.
Yeah, and where does but let's, I mean, back it up. He played World Juniors, correct? Team USA.
He's a part of the U.S. national program. Off the top of my head, Rupper, I don't know if he played last year in the tournament, but he has played in tournaments with Team USA before, because obviously this has happened. This happened 4 years ago.
Yeah. So everybody's pointing fingers at Arizona. Like, what about? And I'm not slagging USA Hockey, but did they do their homework? Because this was going on for years. We're not talking about one incident where a kid's being, you know, maybe he's got a little peer pressure with his buddies and picking on a kid, right? This happened for a long time. It happened for years, and it was the same kid. So I think this has to go back to some USA Hockey, to the school he was going to. This should have been addressed years and years ago, right? Not just swept under the rug because the kid can play hockey.
Yeah, no, that's true. There's obviously going to be it sounds like a full investigation. They'll have to do something on the part of USA Hockey to see where the ball dropped there. The fact that from what I read, he was a highly touted player, and he obviously fell to the fourth round, and a number of teams kind of cringed when that came across the Zoom and saw, at the draft that he got selected, because a lot of teams had him right off the draft board once they were made aware of the situation. I'm sure every team does their own due diligence on finding out pretty much everything about a player, but it's worth noting that this is obviously not a good thing, and the fact that my biggest problem is that he did not apologize, and it's been about 4 years and he has not apologized. That's where the problem lies. That's obviously what he had done and other kids have done, because he was convicted and all that. He was charged for this incident that he did, but the fact that he hasn't apologized, and now you come out and apologize, what does that really mean now? You're only apologizing.
Means nothing.
Yeah, and a few days ago, Arizona backed him. They're like, we were going to make him better, and he's going to be a part of a bigger thing with us. So now it's all different now, where they were able to get some more information. Obviously, the mother had wrote a note and a letter, obviously, and that was made public, and that was put on social media yesterday. And then, Arizona kind of, did their own investigation. They talked to the family, and then the decision has been made. So I'd be surprised if this kid plays again, if Miller plays, like in USA developed hockey, because I would say US hockey, this is huge. Obviously, in the day and age we live in now, I don't know if any NHL team takes him. That'd be surprising from the sounds of it. But I'm all for second chances, Rupper. I don't know where you stand on that, but you got to earn your second chances. If you're not giving them.
No. I mean, you know what? Just the fact that he's not apologizing to me speaks volumes. I don't think he thinks he probably done anything wrong, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
I got 2 kids, right? They say sorry all the time. Do they mean it? Probably not all the time, right? So listen, if he was really sympathetic, and I can't speak for him, I'm not in his shoes, he would apologize the second that happened. Actually, he wouldn't even have done it, right?
Yeah.
Let's just take it to there. Who does something like that?
Yeah, no, it's bad. We can't have that. And if anyone's wondering where Vandy is right now, he's having some technical difficulties on his end. So we were
typical
trying to get that back up and running on his end there. But shifting gears, Rupper, with free agency coming around, I know this wasn't something we were going to talk about. I just wanted to hit on it real quick. Are you surprised a guy like Mike Hoffman is still out there and no one signed him yet?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. To be quite honest with you, that guy puts pucks in the net. Like, so, and I don't know the whole story with what happened in Ottawa. It was something about, was it his wife or girlfriend and Carlson's wife at the time? Is that the story?
Yeah. I think they're
and then
each other's wives now. They're obviously married now, but that kind of, I think it, like, I haven't really heard anything since, both guys kind of left that organization. I don't know whatever happened with that, to be honest. Maybe other people know, but wasn't like I was.
No, but I wasn't either. I don't want to speculate on it because it's not like I, read the Cole's Notes version about it. But from what I heard, half of the people were saying it was Hoffman, and then later I started hearing stuff that it was maybe Carlson's wife. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to go there, but I don't know if that has something to do with it and what's going on now in the world. But that's one of the biggest shockers too, because man, he would look good in copper and blue, like literally, because he scores goals. Like, what did he have last year in Florida?
Around 30 or so. He's
goals.
Like he puts up like tons of goals. Obviously, he's like I'm just gonna, as we're recording here, I'm just gonna look it up on the fly real quick, but I'm pretty sure he had 30 last year. But let's just double check. But yeah, like this guy's, he's gotten, he had 29 last year, 36, 22, 26, 29, 27.
Crazy.
Like, since he's been in the NHL, he's pretty much around that, like 28 to 29. He had 30, 36 a few years back. But we'll see what happens. I'm shocked. He's
only 30 years old.
Yeah, he's exactly 30. He's gonna be 31 in November, but we'll see what happens for sure. It's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping for his sake, like, his agents doesn't seem too worried about it, so we'll see what happens on that front. But it's gonna be something to watch for. Like, he's out there still, and then you got Duchesne, not Duchesne, you got Duclair. Anthony Duclair's still out there, and he is representing himself, and he's not even signed.
Yeah. Well, maybe it has something to do with when are we even starting? When is the NHL even starting up, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we have Vernon Fiddler coming on today, and after his interview, we're gonna follow up with an interview that the interview that's gonna follow Vernon Fiddler's interview is gonna be Lolly and Harmon B. Lolly's the founder of Upna Hockey. That interview was good. It was needed, and I was very happy with the interview. So were you guys. So that interview is going to follow this Vernon Fiddler interview up. Any quick thoughts, Vandy, on that interview that we had with?
Hey, we got Clay back.
Yeah, he's back.
Hey, I'm back, boys.
Yeah,
Got it.
Unreal.
Quick thoughts. Enlightening. I learned a lot more than I mean, you always knew, or you always thought you knew the other side, and it was good to hear the other side of what people go through nowadays. So yeah, it was a good interview there.
Rupper?
Yeah. I'm fortunate enough to be with Harm. 5 out of 7 days our sons play hockey together. That was the first time
Let me guess. They play in the HSL?
Yeah, HSL, not a big deal. For the Caps, and for Saints Pro, give them a little plug. They really opened my eyes, and I talked to a few of the hockey parents the next day just to let them know what we did. And like I told them, and like I told Harmon and Lolly, like I almost felt apologetic because I think a lot of us are still naive to the fact that it's 2020 and that kind of stuff is still going on. And it's not that I want to sweep it under the rug or that I don't know about it. It's like, because I am not one of those people that has ever been racist like that or done anything like that. It's just that I don't believe that that's happening, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. Being on the other side, you hear about it, and oh yeah, it happens. But then hearing it, and really, when you get on this platform, as opposed to Twitter and Instagram and everything else where we get our information from, but when you get on a platform like this where you're actually having a conversation with somebody about a real life topic like that, it really hits home, and it really makes you think. Like, there are horrible and disgusting people out there that think like that.
Yeah. And Vandy, while you're trying to get back connected there, we touched on Mitchell Miller before we kind of move on. I would like to get your thoughts on that. Obviously, you were fixing some audio problems that you had, but
yeah,
Cody's walked away, so from him.
Well, you have no choice when this comes public like that. You might have gotten away with maybe sweeping it under the rug, like Trevor said, in years past, but we're in a different world now, where the bottom line is the kid, whether it was a mistake or it continued. I mean, if it happened the one time, you can say maybe, okay, he learned from his mistakes, but he hasn't apologized. Life went on.
Dude, it happened for years, Clay. That's not a one-time mistake.
Well,
no, I know.
Went on for 2 years after the incident.
Yeah,
it kept
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like it just, it continued happening, and he never apologized for it, which is bullshit. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if he's going to my school, he's kicked off the team at the very least. We can, everybody still has a right to an education, but as far as what Arizona did, good on him.
Yeah, exactly. So, moving on to the World Series, Rupper, what were your thoughts, and what were your thoughts on Justin Turner there?
Oh my gosh. I mean, good for the Dodgers, not gonna lie. They've been kind of biting at the bit there for a while. Nice to see a guy like Clayton Kershaw, that's been there a few times, finally get it done. But that whole Justin Turner thing, that's not a good look for anything right now. To me, as an outsider, I think that the LA Dodgers knew before that he had it, okay?
Yeah.
And they were just going to, hey, we're playing Justin Turner, and I think that was going to get leaked. I think somebody knew something that was going to leak that info, and it got to whoever it was, whether it was MLB that made the call. Was it MLB that made the call, or was it the Dodgers? I don't quote me, and I'm not an expert in the situation. I'm just telling you what I think happened. And then they pulled him. But for him to go back out after MLB said to stop, listen, I get it that you want to celebrate with your buds. Maybe not in front of, 50 million people that are watching on TV. Do it behind closed doors,
Yeah.
right? Like, we just went through a bubble with the NHL that had 0 cases that we know about. The NFL's had a few cases. They're doing a good job. MLB was an absolute disaster to start. They got control. Now you're going to do this. I mean, that is the definition of crazy, right?
Yeah.
And it was on TV everywhere.
Yeah, it was Vandy. Your thoughts? It was just a joke, in my opinion. The MLB started as a joke and it finished as a joke, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's a touchy subject for me. I don't. Is it really that big of a deal? Like, is it?
Well, dude, no, I know what
In
you're
the
saying,
grand
and
scheme of things,
I get
the guy
it.
won
And
the guy won a World Series. May never win one again.
hey,
Let him have
and
his time.
I understand.
If he has it, he's already given it to his teammates anyway. There were no fans.
For sure.
He was not around fans.
Yeah, but I think he's around like mothers that have babies, and there's younger kids, and there's guys on his team that have fought in cancer and have come back from, injury and all that, and other complicated issues too, right? Like, that's what I read.
No, and I
Yeah,
get
but
it. And
so
I know
have any of his teammates come out and said they disagreed with him being there? I doubt it, and I doubt they will.
Well, they haven't spoken yet. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but it's.
I don't know. To me it's
Clay,
it's a mute.
take a breath. What? Take a breath. I know you and me know we talk about COVID off air a lot, and maybe 2 months.
No, and I don't want
the place to.
No, it isn't. But
talk,
that's
right?
not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
No,
is it really that big of a deal? Like, come on, man. Like
listen. 8 months ago, no, it's not a big deal, right?
Oh,
but
no.
now in 2020,
okay,
right? That's all I'm saying.
No, I disagree with you guys. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
That makes good podcasting, I guess. I don't know. It's you see it in a different way, and everyone's got their own opinion, right? That's what's good about this world. Whether you like it or not, at least you have your own.
Exactly. We're on here to debate.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't. Hey, there's a lot of things I agree with Clay.
Calm down.
I'm not. What am I, animated? Can you get animated?
All right, Rupper. Well, let's get to. We got about a few minutes before we get to that interview. Jason's gonna have to edit that part out because I shouldn't have said that. But what's bugging Rupper? You got about 9 minutes. So what is bugging Rupper?
First of all, I'm in a rotten mood because of my back. Okay, so this is gonna really add to the situation. But we've been talking about it now on a couple podcasts and with tonight, just about the inclusion and people's opinions and social media and bullying, and it's just becoming such a problem in my life to even go on Twitter. Like, I used to wake up in the morning and I used to be like, the first thing I did is I get on Twitter and just check out what things were going on, who Biz Nasty was making fun of, and that's a different thing is with him is he's poking fun, right? He's using his celebrity. Like, he used to let people carve him up all the time. Look at the guy with the big nose, right? Look at the guy that never played, and he'd make fun of himself for that. But now Twitter's gone to such another level that everybody with an opinion is not even allowed to have an opinion now. If you go into something and read the comments, it's so bad. It's It's so hateful. People are so hateful now. It's so political. Everybody's an expert in sports. Everybody's an expert in everything now. And case in point, I mean, we're all here and we're on a chat, and Josh sends us a thing. He's like, look at this clown. I don't even know what his like BHE troll. Right there, it says right there, troll. That's a red flag for me. So Josh, I go on and I see this guy's Twitter stuff, and this guy is following ball hockey in Edmonton and carving people up and making fun of people, calling people out behind a handle. First of all, he's got 80 followers. Second of all, he's hiding behind a handle. So I respond to him. I go, listen, I shouldn't have, maybe, right? But that's just me. I wear my heart on my sleeve, okay? So I respond to him. I go, listen, I have a platform where you can come on, and if you feel like venting to us, you can vent, right? Whoa, if I wanted to listen to a shitty podcast, I'd go to kindergarten. And I just was like, pardon? I go, bud, you're hiding behind a name. I'm telling you, if you got something to say to somebody's face, come on to our podcast and say it directly to our face. I don't have a problem with that. We'll sit here and talk about it all day. I'm not going to hate you for your opinion. Mike Tyson said it best. He's like, the problem with the world today is that I can't walk up to somebody and punch them in the face for saying something stupid. But on social media now, I don't even know if that's the exact quote. It's something like that, correct? Now on social media,
Yeah, it was.
if Josh has an opinion or you have an opinion, you're going to get ridiculed for that opinion instead of backing up and saying, okay, that's Josh's opinion or that's Clay's opinion. And Josh can't just go up and punch this guy in the mouth anymore. And God damn it, I'd want to punch. I can't even do it anymore, man. I've never wanted to leave a platform more in my life than Twitter, because it's painful to go on there these days. It's absolutely painful. I'm not even having fun on it anymore, right?
Yeah, a lot of
Anyways,
people aren't. They're they're jumping off, and you even talk to some of the top media guys. They're just there because it's work, and that's it. They only go on when they got to tweet out something for work, like a lineup change or an injury or a trade or a signing. Other than that, they're like staying very far away from it. We're in a different world we live in now, and I understand where I come from, because I'm not going to say I sit here and hold a perfect record. Like, I've done some shit in my life that I'm not proud of, and
We all have.
yeah, but I've always felt that if you've done something, you man up to it and you own up to it and you come out and you apologize, and I think I've done that pretty good. Yeah, I just find it interesting that they got to take a shot. But anyways, we'll finish up on that because Vernon Fiddler's jumping on now. All right, our next guest played 877 games in the NHL for 4 teams. He's also a winner of the Calder Cup with the Milwaukee Admirals, and he's an assistant coach with the Kelowna Rockets. Fids, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Oh, we appreciate it. We're it's a huge get for us, in our opinion. So as we're just getting started, as you said to me too, it's like, it's crazy that 2 random guys can just start a podcast adding these mutts in. So
2 Mutts.
Yeah, the 2 Mutts are Rupper and fucking Clay. So, but
Fitz, good to see you. Good to talk to you again, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So how are things going, and what are you up to right now?
Yeah, you know what? With the crazy times with this pandemic, just, it's actually been a pretty good time to reconnect with the family. And, we've been trying to make as many trips in Canada as we can, keep ourselves busy. We remodeled our house this summer, and, now with school starting up, the kids are back in school. My son's going to the academy in Penticton, so I'm back and forth there 3 times a week helping out with that. But like most people, pretty bored, and there's not a whole bunch to do. You try to isolate from big groups of people and do your part to keep everybody safe and healthy.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's crazy times we live in right now, but how active are you and how active are the kids right now? Are you guys on the ice quite often?
Yeah, we actually are. They're on the ice for an hour and 15 minutes every day. Um, you know, throughout the day they go to school from 8:30 to 12:30, and then it's the rest of the day's hockey, you know, shooting, skills, workout, ice, stuff like that. So I drive down. It's 45 minutes away, so I drive down 3 times a week and help out and try to help out where I have skills. Well,
Face offs.
left, yeah, face offs, dumping the puck out. I can dump it into that trapezoid like fucking nobody else. Made a living at that, but yeah, I enjoy it. I love working with the kids, and you know, we got some top, most top kids from BC here, so it, you know, I'm just amazed of the talent level that these kids have now. But when you have a coach for everything, it definitely helps. It's not like we used to learn from the older guys out the outdoor rink. Now these guys have coaches for everything, so you know the skill level is a lot higher than when I was playing at that level.
No doubt.
Vandy, you're up there.
Oh, sorry. Well, let's talk about your minor hockey. Where did you grow up? Where did you play? Who were some of your coaches that you remember from back?
Yeah, I grew up in Edmonton, South Edmonton, and Millwoods. Started playing hockey with the Millwoods organization, Millwoods Minor Hockey, and worked my way up to Southside Athletic Club. Played 1 year of Bantam AA, 1 year of Bantam AAA, and then I played 1 year of Midget AAA. For Ben Dorvell was one of my favorite coaches I had there. I think you guys may have had him at one point in your
Yeah,
career.
he cut me.
That doesn't surprise
Smart
me.
man. Yeah.
You know, I had a couple really good coaches. I had Dan Bomeister. I had Cam Connor was a good coach. And then, you know, with Southside Athletic Club, they always had good coaches. They always bring in the U of A guys, and we had Paul Strand. I don't know if you remember that by that name.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was really good, and you know, he's helping us like teach us the little tricks. And but those guys were very instrumental in me developing and getting better every year. And obviously, it led to the WHL and NHL, a pretty good NHL career.
Well, listen, one of the reasons why when I joined this podcast was I wanted the first name I wanted to get you on. I wanted to keep it local, but B, your stories of how you got to the NHL are unbelievable, dude.
Yeah.
So you finished Southside. You got AJ teams looking at you. Do you have college? Like, do you know where you're going? How do you get to Kelowna?
So what happened was, you know, I started. You know, I was a little bit of a late bloomer. I was never the best kid growing up in minor hockey. I was always average. You know, kind of that guy that was maybe the last guy to make teams, and with good coaching and you know just staying positive and trying to work my hardest every night, I started to get a little bit better in my second year Bantam. And I remember Ben Dorvell was actually my coach that year for Bantam AAA that year, and he said, you know, you could play junior hockey, and he just gave me that belief. And then we went to the next year. I went to midget AAA and made his team, and it was the same thing. He's like, you know, just because you're not drafted and listed by these teams, like, you know, you're turning into quite a player. And I was, you know, at some points I didn't believe him. Like, you know, I just thought he was, you know, blowing smoke up my ass. But at the end of that year, we had a really good run with the midget AAA group, and I just started getting lots of offers. I got carded by the Crusaders. And then I have a bunch of family out in Saskatchewan, and the Humboldt Broncos came to me and said, well, we're going to offer you a spot on our team. So I was really stuck in between where I wanted to go. And I was still going to Kelowna's camp because I had gone the year before, Bantam AAA year. And it just like worked out. So I ended up going to Humboldt. I started the season there, started school, you know, got sent on the Greyhound bus with a $50 bill in my pocket and basically good luck, call us if you need anything. And I ended up, you know, having a pretty good preseason there. And the Rockets were like, well, we still want you to come to our camp. So Bob Beattie was the coach there. You know, he's a well-known coach in the junior ranks, and he said to me, he goes, you know, if you go to Kelowna, you ain't coming back. And I kind of looked at him funny, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to make that team. But I ended up going there as a walk-on and making the team. And
Awesome.
I remember the coach, Peter Anhold, after like third, fourth day in, he said to me, he goes, you need to get your transcripts from high school. And I didn't think anything of it. And when they made the final cuts, the first day of school, he's like, where's your transcripts? I'm like, fuck, I got to be honest with you. I really didn't think I was going to make it. So I didn't get them. So we had to phone mom, and, you know, she got all that stuff worked out. And I just ended up, you know, sticking around there and getting better and better every year. And then Bruce Hamilton, my 20-year-old year, I really had nothing going on. Like I was actually going to come back and play for U of A after my 20-year-old year. And Bruce said to me, I'm going to trade you closer to home so your mom and dad can, you know, catch more games. And I think it'd just be a better fit. And I blew up. I think I scored 40 some goals that year. And at the end of the year, it was like I had 3 or 4 offers to go to camps and try out, and ended up going to Minnesota Wild's camp. And I had a really good camp. I played a couple preseason games, which was like my NHL. I thought that was going to be it. And at the end of it, they said to me, they're like, well, we want to offer you a contract, but we're sending you to Louisiana in the East Coast Hockey League. And my agent at the time was like, no, we're not going to take this. And my parents were going ballistic. They're like, you're taking that NHL deal. And I was like, I know, I don't know what to tell this guy, Mom. I'm like, what should we do here? And my agent, we had a big call, and he just told me, he said, trust me. He goes, we go to the American Hockey League. He's like, you'll be a free agent. You can go fucking anywhere you want. It's going to work out. Trust me. So we trusted him. And at the time I was like, it was fucking nuts. Like we were, you know, Rich Sutter was their head scout, and he was like, you guys got to take this deal. You're listening to the wrong person, blah, blah, blah. We ended up trusting him, and they sent me I got a deal for $425 a week in Roanoke, Virginia. And I was 2 days out of not taking the contract.
The Express, yeah.
And they said, you got to drive here or get here some way. And I was like, my dad was like, well, I'll just drive you. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, you know, do this on my own. And my girlfriend, my wife now, she's like, well, I'll come with you. And we fucking drove to Virginia. We drove to Roanoke, Virginia. And I got there, and I phoned home, and I'm like, this ain't going to work. I'm like, we were in like, no one had teeth. Fucking, it was crazy. Like we couldn't find any restaurants. The only restaurant that was decent where we were staying and where we were told to stay at the hotel, there was a Hooters. So me and my wife, or my girlfriend at the time, ate at Hooters for like 4 nights in a row. And I remember talking to Rob Dahm at U of A, and I'm like, listen, I'm fucking coming back. You just got to give me a week. Like I'm coming back. And we got playing, and it was unreal. Like the guys were unreal. Like, I mean, we'd get on these buses, and they had like these sleeper buses, and these guys were like professional minor leaguers, like smoking at the back of the bus. They'd have like $51 bills, playing cards. Like it was fun. I got my own apartment, and it was all furnished. They fucking Booster Club put food in there for you. Like you didn't do nothing, right? And I actually started to like it, and the coach like was just playing the shit out of me, and I was putting up lots of points. And he told me, he said, you're not going to be here long. He goes, I know this is a shitty place, but he's like, you won't be here long. I promise you'll be gone by Christmas. Again, I'm like, this guy's either blowing smoke up my ass, or he sees something that I don't. And it happened. I got Chicago signed me for the rest of that year. So I went up to Chicago's farm team, which was Norfolk, Virginia, which was a beautiful place right on the ocean, Virginia Beach. And finished out that year, and then I had 4 or 5 offers for NHL entry-level contracts. So there started the NHL, my NHL journey.
Nice.
Exactly.
Nice. That's Vandy, you got more there?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you before we move on to some other questions. So Chicklets, you might have heard the Jason Demers prank story when he got. I got to hear your version of this.
Yeah, he told that story wrong.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why he told it that way, but he knew that wasn't the right story. So we were in Colorado, and we had been fucking shit in the bed, and Lindy Ruff was a new coach, and we had traded for
this is when you're in Dallas, right?
yeah, this is in Dallas.
Yeah.
So Lindy Ruff had just taken over the team, and we just came out of the gate really slow. Like we had lost like 7 to 10 games, and we just laid an egg in Colorado. And I remember it was Ray Whitney and someone else was like, you know what, boys, we need a night out. And we were having our rookie party the next night in Toronto. So we were flying to Toronto the next morning, having a day off with our rookie party. So we thought we'd start our rookie party the night before. So we all just went out and just got fucking blitzed, right? Like, I mean, like we were partying like we won the cup. And so we wake up in the morning, and we get to the bus and we get to the plane, and everyone just out cold on the plane. Everyone's windows are closed and the lights are off and the curtains are all shut. And I can't sleep on a plane to save my life. So I'm sitting there, and I was whatever playing a game on my iPad or whatever. And Demers goes, and he's brand new to our team, right? And he nicknamed himself, self-proclaimed nickname, the Daddy. So I'm calling him Daddy, right? I'm like, Daddy, like. He's like, you play crib? I go, yeah, I play crib. I'll fucking play in crib. He goes, all right, let's play a game. So we turn on our 2 lights at the card table, and I just joking around. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. It might not even have been 9. I think it was earlier, because they thought if they sent the plane earlier, no one would go out, but we all did. And I said, you can't play a game of crib without a beer and clam. So he's like, oh, fuck. And he's a drinker, right? Like he just, anything to booze, this guy will booze. So I said, well, fuck, so the stewardess walked by, and I grabbed her. I said, hey, can you grab us 2 beers and 2 sides of clam? And I said, don't show the management. I said, like, can you hide it somewhere? Oh yeah, fuck, for sure. So, and I'm facing the front of the plane, so I can see like the management section, and it's through the curtain, right? So I'm just I can see just enough where they're on their computers, and the general manager, Jim Nill, and Coach Lindy are talking, and this stupid fucking stewardess gets 2 beers, 2 clams, and walks by them on a platter, and I can see them just turn and look like they're looking like, who the fuck ordered 2 beers? So she brings it to us, and Demers just never stops talking, right? Like he's always talking. He's got a deck of cards, and he's fucking shuffling them, and he's not even looking at me. He's just shuffling them, and he's talking about, he's like, fuck, I thought I got traded to a good team, and we're losing all these games. So now I can see the management, they're fucking talking. So the stewardess goes back, and you could tell Lindy was like, and this stewardess was a rookie stewardess. All the other ones are veterans, so they would have known not to go by them with the beers. But it was this young girl, and she said, what seat did that go to? And she told him, 24A or whatever. And so all of a sudden I see Lindy coming back, and he, like, our plane was a 7-7, so he was way at the front. So he had like a walk, like he had to, like, it was like a walk back, right? Like it's like about probably like a 20-second walk back. So I'm like, Daddy. I go, Daddy. I said, put that beer down. And he's just shuffling the fucking cards, right? And he won't listen. I go, Daddy. I go, fucking shut your light off and put that beer away. And so I shut my light off. I put my beer back here, and I just went like this, like I was pretending to sleep, thinking that he would fucking catch on. Well, Lindy's there. He goes, Jason. Yep. He's like, oh, he's like, what you did in San Jose is drink beer at 8 a.m. And he's like, whoa, oh, no. And he looks at me, my light's off, and I'm sleeping. So it looks like he's drinking beers by himself. So then we landed at whatever. And, Lindy's a really good guy. And at the end of it, the next day, after the day off, we have a morning skate 2 days later. And Lindy, he's skating around, and he skates up to me, and he goes, hey, and he's laughing. He goes, just want to know, was that you that ordered the beers with the Mers? And I said, yeah, we were going to have a beer and clam. And he goes, he's like, he was laughing about it, and he goes, "Oh," I said, "Fuck, I was fucking hot." He goes, "I didn't care, but I had to show some emotion in front of the manager because, I didn't want you guys boozing on the plane. I thought it was a bad timing." He goes, "You got to be smarter than that." And I said, "Yeah, yeah." So we were laughing. So Jason thought like it was a big fucking, like we were trying to fucking pull a prank on him, but it actually wasn't. Like he was just too stupid to put the beer down and shut his light off.
My buddy Petro played with them in Florida, so
Oh yeah.
he's an interesting guy, Demers. The stories you hear, that's awesome. He's it's good times. You had a good team in Dallas there. You guys had some really good players there. You want to speak on that a bit?
Yeah, we right from Joe Newen, when Joe Newendike signed me out of free agency, we had a really good core group there. I think that was the last year they kind of kept that group together, and we won the Central Division the last year, and we really had a good group there. We had veteran guys like Ray Whitney and Sean Horkoff, and we had Trevor Daly on the back end, Steve Ott. Like we had some really good guys, and we just we in that Central Division, it was just such a tough division to win in the playoffs, especially against teams like St. Louis and Chicago, and we couldn't get past that second round. But we had decent goaltending. It probably let us down the most in the playoffs with injuries and stuff like that. But a really good group of guys that we all kind of turned the corner there in Dallas and rebuilt that team with Joe, and then Jim Nill took over, and after that last year, he just kind of blew it up.
Yeah, and to kind of come back to where you kind of started, obviously with the Predators organization. Speak on the Calder Cup that you won in 2004. You had some good characters like Scotty Upshaw on that team too when you guys won. How special was that to win that championship?
Yeah, it really was. It was we had all kind of been up and down all that year with the NHL, and our coach was Claude Noel and Todd Richards, who just won the Stanley Cup with Tampa as assistant coach. Really good coaching staff, and they surrounded us young guys that they had just signed with, like Darren Haydar, Simone Gamache, myself, Greg Zanin, Scotty Upshaw, Jordan Tootey. They surrounded us with really good veteran guys like Brad Tiley and Wyatt Smith, Curtis Murphy, Wade Flaherty was our goalie. They really wanted to build a winning culture there, and being there with those older guys and us finishing the year with Nashville and then getting sent down to play in the playoffs with Milwaukee. I think that that playoff run taught us a lot what it was going to take to win and sacrifice for each other. And a lot of us actually ended up going up after that next year, after the lockout the following year, and playing full time in the NHL. So we owe a lot to those older guys that taught us the right way and the right road to go down.
How interesting was it to live in Nashville and obviously has such a good following, even with the country singers? Have you met a lot of country singers when you were there?
Oh yeah, it was. You know what? From the day I got there, my first training camp as a rookie, and they always have they have a great support staff there. They keep all the country singers involved, and every game they have different labels at the game, whether it's with different Dierks Bentley and Vince Gill, and then when I was in my younger days, it was like the Garth Brookses and George Strait and these kind of guys are constantly in the stands. Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, Trisha Yearwood. It didn't matter. It didn't matter where you looked, you saw, and they had the seats on the glass for them. So it was definitely fun and gave the team a spark when those rock stars were sitting front row watching you.
Nice. That's interesting. Do you still talk to some of those people that you've met during that time that you were there? Are you stay in contact with any of them?
Yeah, I do actually. When I was in my first stint there, the first 7 years, we lived out in an area called Brentwood, and that's where all the country stars lived. It was like probably a 25-minute ride out north outside the city, and they all lived there, so we all connected. We were the Predators, and they followed us, we followed them. They'd invite us to all their concerts, and one of my favorites is Dierks Bentley. He's still a good friend of mine. He we'd go to his shows when he'd play at like a 2,500 gig show. And now to go to his shows, he invites us to his shows. He's playing in front of 30,000 people. Really good guy. He's a like just loves hockey. He plays himself, can't skate worth a lick. But we'd go and play on his team in the summer and play goalie and go for beers after. But really solid dude.
Nice.
He just posted some on Instagram. He was riding his bike to his kids.
Oh yeah,
Kids.
he's got all his kids in hockey and stuff, and it's crazy
Yeah.
because he'll text you. He'll be like, "What kind of skate should I get?" You know, like he has no fucking clue. Like he's looking for like sticks, and he doesn't have any clue,
Yeah.
right? So it's funny to listen,
Awesome.
but he just loves it. And then when I went back there, he was he was obviously one of the biggest guys in town by then, and he was at every game. Like they were singing, they would sing our national anthems, and then Luke Bryan and these guys would be down in the dressing room before the game, right? Like it was like they have no clue what's going on, the intensity that's going on in the playoffs, but they're down there like shooting the shit, grabbing our sticks, but it was pretty cool to have all those stars around.
Unreal.
And then you had 2 years with the Coyotes organization. Speak on that. Obviously, playing with a guy like Shane Doan and a lot of good players there too. How was that experience to play with the Coyotes?
Yeah, that was fun too. It was coming from Nashville. It was my first time going to free agency. I think I was 27. And I wanted a place to play where I was going to play a few more minutes and gain a few more responsibilities, and Arizona gave me that. They right away you're playing like 15, 16, 17 minutes instead of 11 or 12. So it was a really good fit for me to go in there. We didn't have a big name team, so we had more of a grinder team where we had to win games 1-0, 2-1. Dave Tippett was the coach, and outstanding coach, still to this day one of my favorite coaches, because he's just a very honest guy that he just didn't care what your name was on the back of your jersey. All he cared was you worked hard and you're a team first kind of guy, and he got the most out of our team. We ended up having 2 good teams there and making the playoffs both years.
Nice.
I dabbled into Hockey Wives a little bit in the last couple years, especially in this lockdown. I don't know, I'd wake up early and be farting around the tube and I just see Hockey Wives. And a story, just what you say with Tip, is that he was right when Ray Whitney was done with Arizona. I guess he still, like, Tip used to come over all the time to his house and just BS with him and have dinner with him and his wife. And I hear that from numerous people that he's such a good players coach that he still remains friends with a lot of those guys after. So that, like, I'm lucky to have this guy now in Edmonton, right? As a fan.
He's a brilliant guy. He's real methodical on everything he does. Like, he's a really neat guy. Like, he rebuilds bikes and rebuilds cars and loves to fish. Like, he can really relate to the players. Like, a lot of us are like that. We're blue collared kids that came from nothing and come from these prairie towns, and he's just one of those guys that could find a way to get the most out of every guy individually. And he'd come around the room and you could see him going from guy to guy. He'd never look at you in the eye. He'd always be looking off, like he'd be leaning against a wall, and he'd just tell you what you had to do. And that's what I loved about him. He never, bullshitted around of, you're doing great, or he wouldn't ever lie to you. He'd just tell you straight up if you're, if you're adding up minuses in the two pre games, he'd say, listen, like, the minuses are adding up. You guys got to be even or plus tonight. Like, he just knew how to motivate you enough to keep you on your toes. And Edmonton is very lucky to have a guy like that, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's we're happy to have him here, and obviously you're an Edmonton boy too, and kind of transitioned to Dallas. And one of the famous incidents that's happened when you were there was the Kevin Bieksa angry face, and how did that just start, and was there something leading up to it, or is it just you because you're the best chirper in my opinion in the NHL?
No, it was you know what, me and Bieksa played against each other right from the minute we touched the American League. We always played against each other. He was in Manitoba, we were in Milwaukee, so we were in the the same conference, and just like fucking one thing after another. And it just seemed every time we played each other, we'd be at each other or hitting each other. And obviously I know he's a lot tougher than me, so I knew I couldn't get to him that way. So I knew I had to get under his skin. And it didn't matter what game we were going into. I knew I wanted to be all over him, because he was one of those guys that I could just get going, with a look and warm up, or, say something when he was sitting on the bench, or, I used to skate by him and be like, "You're fucking going to be on the bench all night." And I knew they're one of their top D-man. So I knew he was playing, but it used to fire him up that I would just say that to him, because he was just an easy guy to get fired up. And then we both went to the NHL, and we remained in the same conference and fucking playing each other. We play each other, 6 times a year. And it was the same thing every fucking night. Like we'd, shooting pucks at each other. And I was out for dinner with a friend of mine before the game, Dan Hammies, the night before the game. And he told me, if you guys were on the same team, you guys would be fucking the bestest of friends. And I said, no fucking chance. I said, I hate this guy so much. He said, no, I'm telling you. He goes, you guys are the exact same guy. He goes, you guys would be fucking out for dinner every single night. And I said, fuck. I said to Dan Hammies, I go, it's just his face. I go, he's always got this bitter beer face. And I go, like, I just can't handle him. And he started laughing. He goes, I know, the guys give it to him all the time. So he was at a face-off. We were in the offensive zone. He was on the wall, and I got kicked out of a face-off to go play on the right side. And there he is, and he just fucking hammers me on the top of my skate. And I'm trying to go after him and hit him, and we're chasing the puck a little bit, and then the whistle went, and so then we went to our benches, whatever. And then the next shift, I skated by the bench, and he said something to me, and then that's when I gave him his face, like, this is what you look like. And I kept saying, this is what you look like. And I kept doing that, but then they finally caught it on camera, and Vigneault saw it. And I mean, he was just fucking killing himself. And then there's two trainers that were in between the benches, and they were kneeling down. They were laughing so hard, because, that's what he looks like all the time. Like, he looks like a caveman, right?
Yeah.
And then it fucking hit the internet. And I mean, I got text message after text message. And then Jamie Benn phoned me that night, and he goes, buddy, what did you do to BX? I go, I don't know. Like, I'm not a big internet guy, or, Twitter or Instagram. And he said, he goes, man, this is all over Twitter. He goes, like, it's blowing up with this face you did. So I got on there and looked, and sure as shit, it was fucking all over the internet.
It still is, though, Vern.
Oh, I know.
That's the thing. Like I was just farting around on YouTube today, and the first thing I just put Vern Fiddler, and then it goes Vern Fiddler mocks Kevin BX. And that's the first thing that pops up. Yeah. I mean, that's unbelievable to have something like that, go so viral. I mean, holy Christ.
Well, and I'm in BC now, right? So, like, BC people see it more than anybody in the world. And so, like, I'll be at the grocery store, and, like, I'll see people creeping up and being like, hey, can you do that Kevin BX thing? And it's like, fuck off. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
I need corn on the cob. Yeah. I need corn on the cob. Jeez.
Where's the softest shit tickets?
You know what's hilarious is, like, you talk about playing and hating that guy, and I bet you there's 3 of us sitting in this room that I didn't even play at that level, and I hate him. But now that I see him and I'm watching him on Hockey Night in Canada, like, I don't mind him. No, like, it's a fresh voice, and he knows his stuff, and he mixes in a little humor and still a little bit of his playing side to it, and it's actually refreshing to watch. And I can't even believe I'm saying that.
No, and I'm the same way. Like, people are pretty tentative when they ask me, like, oh, what do you think of BX? I'm like, fuck, I think he's great. He chirps the other analysts, and they all kind of gang up on him a little bit, and he's got that cocky edge, but then he gives his approach and the way he puts it across to the people watching. It's very simple, so they understand it, and it's things that the people that not hockey people would understand. Yeah. So he's a good educator that way, and I think he's done a great job so far.
So I'm gonna take over now for the last half, Bud, and you and me go pretty back. We used to. I know we shared a condominium, like not the same household, but you guys backed into us. I grew up with your brother a lot, had a few beers with him. So when we were setting this up, I said, Bosco, Clay, you guys kind of take the serious side. I'm gonna try to take the lighter side of things,
I think Fitz one of the things with the lighter side. I think Fitz took over with the lighter side. Go for
that's
it.
going to be tough to beat. That's going to be tough to beat. But
I think you can.
I know, like, one of the things I've been doing with the guys that are coming on here is one of my biggest little segments is the biggest drill killer. So I want to know who in your career just blew drills up the most. Tell me Nashville. I want to hear Nashville. I want to hear Arizona, and I want to hear Dallas. Who was the biggest drill killers on those teams?
And New Jersey too. He played New Jersey. So
Yeah, I'm not.
I wasn't
Yeah,
in
New Jersey, New
New
Jersey.
Jersey very long, but you know what? One of the biggest drill killers, and you guys have, I'm sure, have heard of the name. He's a tough guy, Jeremy Jablonski. He was with us
Yep.
in Nashville a little bit, and he was so tough, like a little sawed-off guy, like probably 250, 5'8", and he had to go first in every fucking drill, and he'd fuck the drill up, and the coach would blow it down, and he'd go back to the front of the line, and none of us wanted to say anything because he was so tough, right? And he'd go again and he'd fuck the drill up, and the coach would tell him, go to the back of the line, and he'd get right back to the front of the fucking line, and he'd fucking all over again, right? And he'd go 4 or 5s, and the coach would say, get to the fucking back of the line. No, I got it. But he was probably the worst fucking drill killer I ever played with. In Arizona, who would it have been?
Please say Biz.
Oh, Biz Nasty was a bad drill killer, but he was smart enough. He was smart enough to go. He was smart enough to go to. He was smart enough to go to the back of the line after the first time, and he could make fun of himself too. So, in Phoenix, yeah, I didn't even think of him, and I've actually chatted with him a couple times over the last few months. But yeah, Biz was pretty bad, and then in Dallas, we had some bad ones in Dallas. Well, Jason Demers killed a lot of drills because he'd get talking, right? He couldn't focus long enough at the board to see what was going on because he'd be talking to somebody, and he could fucking kill a drill with the best of them. And then who else? There's a couple other ones that I was thinking of today. Oh, Scotty Upshaw was a bad fucking drill killer. He could kill a practice. He was too busy looking at himself in the glass, seeing how his hair looked that day. But yeah, there's some bad ones.
I love it. That's the kind of stuff I like to hear about, especially when it's Biz, because I know, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but I know him on Chicklets. That's one of his kind of things is he kind of busts guys for drill killing, and to hear him be actually a drill killer it's sweet. So I want to talk a little bit, like one of the things around Edmonton when you come back home in the summers, you used to put on a charity golf tournament here at one of the local golf courses. Jesus, it's right down the street from my house. It's gone now. What the heck was that place
Pioneer
called?
Meadows.
Pioneer Meadows, yeah. And this
Pioneer
was
Meadows.
like, we got it, tips. We the thing is like, so I used to hear about this tournament for like 5 years, and this was like the hottest ticket in Edmonton. It was like the Masters. You had to get invited to Vern's golf tournament. You had to get invited to Vern's golf tournament. So finally I got an invitation, and I show up to this thing. And I mean, we could do literally another whole podcast about the antics that went on there and the people that I met and your brother and Taylor, and it was awesome. Let me put it to you that way. But you want to just speak about the charity because when I was there, like the extracurricular stuff, that was great. But for me, what really touched me is the dinner after, and you guys, kind of all these guys coming together for a great charity.
Yeah, it was, the idea came, when I started getting in the NHL as a regular. I said to my sister, who still lives in Edmonton, I said, I'd really like to get a charity tournament. I lost my sister at a young age to leukemia. And she died at a young age. I was a young kid. I was 6 years old. She was 11. And I just figured, let's put something together that, we can do something in her memory and raise money for kids. And so we came up with the idea that we were, instead of raising money and writing a check to these, these nonprofit charities that, you know, you don't know where the money goes. I said, let's start a charity where we'll find families, and, you know, we all know people that are dealing with cancer, you know, especially
Yeah.
young kids. And that's what our main focus was the young kids. We wanted to find kids, and basically what we do is we throw this big party and bring all these hockey people together, and then our friends and family, and raise money for it. So what we did was we had the charity golf tournament, and then we'd find 3 or 4 families a year, and we'd send them to Disneyland. So we'd find, like, for instance, one young guy, Caleb, he was from Kelowna, and I knew his father from baseball here, and found out through word of mouth through a couple other friends that his son had terminal brain cancer. And, you know, he was fighting for his life, and maybe had 2 years, maybe had 5 years. So I said to my sister, this is what we're going to do. We're going to find these families, and we're going to pay for everything for them to go to Disneyland, and have like a week of just making memories, taking pictures, and just try to forget about what's going on. And man, it just blew up. Like, we couldn't even advertise it anymore, because we just couldn't have enough groups out there. Like, we could have had 2 flights of groups. That's how many people
Yeah.
we had. It just would have, you know, taken the whole meaning of it away, of everybody being together. So yeah, and then we just started finding these families that you know, like, you know, kids had cancer, and we'd get them all set up at Disneyland, at the resort in Anaheim there, and we'd pay for everything, all from the charity, all the money raised. And I think we ended up raising just close to $1 million. It was we did it for 10 years, and we raised it just over $1 million. And I think we sent close to 30 families to Disneyland, where
Unbelievable.
some of the kids made it. And, you know, it's funny, I ran into the one young kid from here, Caleb. He ended up dying at the age of 12. This was probably 7-8 years ago. He passed away. And I saw his sister, and, you know, she was just as young, like she was a year older than him. And she came up, and this girl, I'm at Golf Town, she just gave me the biggest hug. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, what's going on here? And she goes, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm Caleb's sister. And I was like, holy shit, like, you've grown up, like, you're a young lady now, you're working. And she goes, I just want to thank you guys for sending us. And she's like, I still have pictures of us in Disneyland going on roller coasters and everything. So, you know, it's an awesome feeling that we got to help those kids out. But it was all the people that showed up and bought all the auction items and stuff. So yeah, and then that led to the Fids Kids in Dallas. I give 10 tickets away a game to the same thing. We give away tickets for kids to come to the game. They'd come after warm up and watch warm up from the bench, and then I'd meet and greet them after warm up, and, you know, sign some jerseys and stuff for them. And, you know, their families would watch the game that night and get away from the hospital, and just get away from what they were going through, and try to make memories with the ones that were going through the battle of cancer.
Yeah, giving back, dude. And that's such, you know, it makes a guy like me so proud, knowing that, you know, you came from Edmonton, and kind of where you came from, and want to give back so much to somebody that's going through something like that. Good job. I want to end with 2 things, and one's kind of a serious thing Clay usually takes, and then one's going to be something that we had kind of a phone-in special guest request to tell a story. But the running theme lately is we're trying to keep, you know, the podcast local, with local guys that grew up here, you know, and the running theme has been, you know, we got these guys that, you know, maybe weren't the best in minor hockey, or got overlooked, or maybe were too small, or, you know, could be a many different things. What advice, Vern, do you have for kids, you know, growing up that maybe aren't playing at the AAA level, that maybe aren't playing at the AA level? Because you were undrafted. I mean, your story in itself is such an inspiration for a lot of these kids that, you know, fortunately have to listen to this podcast that we coached. I'm sorry, fellas, but it's not like we're the Tippets of the world. But what advice do you have, Vern?
You know what? My biggest advice is you start hockey, and I think this is what's kind of like, I think a lot of like Canada's veered away from this, is you play hockey for fun, right? Like, you don't play hockey to go and, you know, impress the other parents. You're supposed to be there to have fun. And I think there's so much pressure on these young kids now that you know, it's because of all these big contracts that everyone's signing, and these parents spend all this money on these kids that, you know, these parents think that there should be some kind of investment at the end of the day out of this. And we've lost touch with why you actually play hockey. Why do you guys go play men's night? You play men's night because it's fun, right?
Yeah.
And there's so much pressure. And I tell my boys that I coach right now, if you're not having fun, then why the fuck are you playing hockey?
Yeah.
Because there's something out there that you could be having fun with. And yeah, I wasn't the best player, but every coach I had made it fun to come to the rink. And if your coach is not doing that, then he's not doing his job. He shouldn't be
Absolutely.
teaching you how to, you know, yeah, at bantam and midget, you should probably be taught how to do a system or where you should be going off a face-off. But my main thing I focus with as kids is let's have some fun on the ice. Like, I want them to come back tomorrow and be excited to come back to the rink. So my advice for kids is have fun, make it fun. Don't compare yourself to every other kid. Well, I want to be, you know, the best guy on the ice that's not what it's about. Because when you start having fun, you get better at things. And obviously you have to work. Like, I wasn't drafted or anything, but that motivated me to work harder than the guys that were. And I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it sucks to say it, but there was 6, 7, 8 guys that were way better than me on my team. And, you know, you come back to play for the Oilers. I remember walking in the mall one time. I'm not going to say his name, but he's working at a kiosk at the fucking mall. And it's like, well, maybe like what happened? You know, like,
Yeah.
was there too much pressure on him? Was like, did he get ahead of himself and forget to work? So that's where I'm at. Like, I'm a guy that will grab my work boots and my work bag and work fucking just as hard as anybody on the ice. And that's how I made it. I didn't make it because I was the best stick handler, the best skater. I made it because every coach that had me knew I was going to have fun and knew I was going to work my ass off.
Well said.
That's yeah, well said. That's awesome advice. And I just want to clarify one thing before everybody starts going checking Alberta Men's League stats. I don't play Men's League. Like, dude, did Wayne Gretzky play Men's League, Vern? Just a quick question. There you go. So neither do I. And we're gonna roll into the last question. And this is actually a phone-in question from your buddy Taylor Harnett. He told us to ask you about the Lee Garden incident. And I don't have any idea what this is. For people that don't know what Lee Gardens is, it's a little Chinese food restaurant. I don't even think it exists anymore. Clay, does it? I think that's now like
Absolutely. It's still Woodville.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
but
hope it does. That's the best
It's
Chinese
right by,
food in the
buddy,
world.
it's right by the Hillview pub still.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So listen. So next time you're in town, so I didn't know it was there because usually I run a Millwoods pub crawl every single year, and we've been doing it for about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, and we have a theme every year. And man, this gets like anywhere from 50 to 100 people. So that's a whole nother podcast. Okay, I'll tell you about that another time. But I want to hear about this Lee Garden incident because Taylor says you gotta ask him about it.
Fucking Taylor. Yeah, so we, you know, your mom and dad would go out on a Friday night, right? They'd give you $50 and be like, hey, order food in. So what we'd do is you know, it's fucking like minus 80 in Edmonton. So we'd ice down the corner of our house in Mill Woods. We'd ice down the corner right at where you walked up to our front step with hot water and make it basically an ice rink. And then we'd let it freeze, and then we'd call Lee Gardens and be like, hey, we need a dinner for 4 or whatever. You know, the delivery guy would be hustling and bustling around and fucking trying to get all his orders out while they're hot. And we'd set up shop and we'd sit up in the front window and we'd all watch this guy come in fucking hot. He'd leave his door wide open. He's got the bag of Chinese food. He'd come hot around that corner, and as soon as he'd bust a right, he'd fucking just bail, right? Like, I mean, Chinese food everywhere. And we couldn't even answer the door because we were laughing so hard, right? But then we'd just order enough where we could order something else too. So we'd order fucking pizza too, and we'd get the same reaction, right? You got the fucking pizza delivery guy come out, hat on, fucking backwards, like. and he'd come fucking ripping around the corner, and we'd be waiting for this fucking guy again, and he'd come and just bust it. Like, I mean, parallel to the sidewalk, like upside down the side. It was so slippery, right? Like, we're lucky we didn't get our parents sued from these delivery guys banging their head and crashing their head open. So that's the Lee Garden story.
That's awesome. That's some good ones. Oh, we appreciate you coming on, Fids. This means a lot to us. It was a blast.
No, I'm glad we got to catch up, and hopefully everybody's doing well back there in Alberta. I hope it's not too cold for you guys yet.
Yeah, we actually got lucky this week, the weather.
No, it's fine. You probably had more snow than we did.
Yeah,
we had 16 inches of snow in one day.
Yeah.
Well,
It was
my in-laws live in my mother-in-law and her husband live in West Kelowna, and they had their canopy and all that is trashed, and
yeah.
So did you get the kids to shovel?
Oh yeah, I got all the neighbors. Blake, my son Blake, he's 13. I had him shoveling everyone's sidewalks, putting them to work. No video games around here.
That a boy.
Yes.
Start them young. So, well, we wish you all the best, and once you guys get back going at the WHL level, coaching wise, we wish you guys the best there, and the upcoming season. Hopefully, we can get that going.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Great catching up with you. All the best. Good luck with the podcast.
Thanks.
You too,
Awesome,
buddy.
Fids. Thanks.